Hello and welcome to the Oneness Index Experience. I'm Sophie Bidard, Master Light Weaver, flowing the purest crystalline light from the Great Central Sun for revelation, liberation, and true self-embodiment. I'm the co-creator with Crystal Hughes and the host of the online series Graceful Connections, offering you this community event today. And I'm your guide on our adventure of illuminating the oneness within you, starting with a wide exploration of your inner landscape of oneness. Thank you for joining me today as we discover where we all stand on our individual path to oneness. Before we start, I place our gathering and each and every one of us within the orb of grace, and within the orb of truth. That we all be held in grace and truth and infused with grace and truth all along our time together. Take a moment to adjust to the highest frequencies of grace and truth. Adjusting your mind, your heart, your body, your whole being. Allow yourself to be filled with and bathed in grace and truth. And breathe. Beautiful. So we're about to embark together on an inner guided journey that will lead you to a detailed inquiry of no less than 25 specific expressions of oneness. Because oneness in itself is such a broad and vast notion, it may be difficult to assess as a whole. So what I invite you to do is to evaluate your current level of oneness consciousness through 25 carefully crafted criteria, 25 aspects of oneness that you may be practicing constantly, frequently, occasionally, or not at all. And to do so, I'm about to guide you to step into the orb of reveal, to allow the highest frequencies of reveal to simply bring the truth to your awareness, as opposed to leaving the assessment to your thinking mind, your judgment, and all the possible distortions it may come up with. We'll just prompt your higher self to reveal your status with each criteria, simply observing where you are without judgment, with truthfulness and compassion. Through this review of 25 aspects of oneness, you'll discover the full landscape of your inner oneness, your oneness consciousness, with a whole new degree of precision and clarity. And with that, you'll develop a much deeper awareness and understanding of oneness. You'll awaken within your being the desire to honor and express those aspects you have already embraced, and cultivate those that require your attention, dedication, and practice. Equipped with the map of your inner oneness landscape, you'll know what your strengths are that you can capitalize on, and where you are called to put your attention to grow your oneness consciousness. With this awareness and clarity, your journey into oneness becomes a fascinating adventure, and I'm so grateful to share it with you. So let's get ready to begin. Practically, you need a notebook or just a blank page to make notes and a pen. So go get them now if you don't have them with you. Just going to give you a moment. And so on your paper, in a column, you write down numbers, and do that now. Write down numbers from 1 to 25 for each of the oneness criteria we're about to review. One number below the other, and leave some space next to each number to make a note. So you do that now. Just take half a minute, I guess. And so you have a column of digits from 1 to 25 with some space next to it to write down a couple of keywords. And our process together is that I'm going to prompt you with each of the 25 expressions of oneness, asking your higher self to reveal your current status with each of these 25 criteria. And you will write down next to its number, you will write down the keyword that best qualifies your status, which will range from never, rarely, sometimes, often, all the way to always. So this is our evaluation scale. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. And once we are done reviewing all 25 expressions of oneness, you'll bring your self-assessment to the online Oneness Index, where you will simply click your answers for each criteria. And you'll have your personal Oneness Index calculated and delivered to you with a detailed review giving you the complete picture of your own personal oneness landscape. And the reason why we proceed that way is that we want as much as possible to bypass the conscious mind's distortions. You know, when we fill in a questionnaire with a form, we tend to answer from our head, which may bring a lot of judgment and distortions in the way we answer. Here, we want the truth from our higher self. So we go with this two-step process. First, the truthful evaluation, then the factual reporting. And our intention here is that each of us becomes the witness observer of our own oneness. And from that position, becomes empowered to be in charge of enhancing and cultivating our personal oneness consciousness. So how does that sound? How does that feel? Are you ready? Let's do this. As we begin, you can close your eyes if you want. And of course, if it is safe for you to do so. And turn your attention inwards. Take a moment to let go of anything that doesn't serve this present moment. With each breath, feel yourself arriving more fully here. As we set our intention together, may all that flows within this sacred space, words, vibrations, energies, serve your highest good and your evolution. Ask your higher self to be in charge and call your guides and the beings from the higher realms who protect and support you. Ask them to be present by your side. Empowering you to gain awareness, a witness observer awareness of your oneness landscape. Activating your connection to the new Earth crystalline grid. And to the galactic center, the center of truth. You're perfectly held, both grounded and lifted. As you are safe, you can relax. You're ready and open to receive. And I invite you to open your heart with compassion for yourself. Now, as I tune into the galactic center, I call an orb of reveal to be placed around your aura. And you can claim it now, out loud or silently. I welcome and receive the orb of reveal around my aura. And I'm offering this orb of reveal, placing it around your aura. Filling and bathing your aura with the vibration of revealing the highest, the purest truth. Holding you safe, protected, informed and inspired in this truthful, high vibrational space. Allow any adjustments to this highest vibration of the orb of reveal that need to happen. Let them just happen naturally within your body, your heart, your mind, your whole being. And breathe. And within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive your oneness inner landscape. In this 1 year of 2026, we all are called or maybe pushed or pulled, and some of us may be summoned to embrace oneness, to express oneness, to be oneness. Can you sense that calling, that pulling or pushing or stirring within you? Oneness is a vast, infinite territory. I invite you to explore it now through 25 landmarks and to find out where you stand in regard to each of these landmarks, which then makes it possible and easy for you to find out where and how to move in this inner oneness landscape. So let's get started. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And start your oneness review with your higher self within the orb of reveal. So our number one criterion, aspect, expression of oneness, quality of oneness, is interconnectedness. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience a sense of interconnectedness with all living beings. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience a sense of interconnectedness with all living beings? Write it down and breathe. Number 2, compassion. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you feel compassion naturally arising without effort or judgment. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, or always. To what extent do you feel compassion naturally arising without effort or judgment? Write it down and breathe. Number 3, presence. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent are you present in the moment without dwelling on past or future. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent are you present in the moment without dwelling on past or future? Write it down and breathe. Number 4, sacredness. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you recognize the divine or sacred in everyday experiences. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you recognize the divine or sacred in everyday experiences? Write it down and breathe. Number 5, love. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you act from love rather than fear in challenging situations. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you act from love rather than fear in challenging situations? Write it down and breathe. Number 6, unity. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you see beyond the illusion of separation between yourself and others. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you see beyond the illusion of separation between yourself and others? Write it down. And breathe. Number 7, equanimity. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience inner peace regardless of external circumstances? Write it down and breathe. Number 8, wholeness. Within the orb of reveal, Ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you feel complete and whole without needing anything to change. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you feel complete and whole without needing anything to change? Write it down and breathe. Number 9, gratitude. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you feel grateful for both pleasant and difficult experiences. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you feel grateful for both pleasant and difficult experiences? Write it down and breathe. Number 10, non-duality. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience reality beyond dualistic thinking of good, bad, right, wrong. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience reality beyond dualistic thinking of good, bad, right, wrong? Write it down and breathe. Number 11, curiosity. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you respond with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you respond with curiosity rather than defensiveness? Write it down and breathe. Number 12, joy. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience joy naturally, celebrating happiness and success in yourself and others. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience joy naturally, celebrating happiness and success in yourself and others? Write it down. And breathe. Number 13, surrender. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you trust in the unfolding of life without needing to control. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you trust in the unfolding of life without needing to control? Write it down. And breathe. Number 14, acceptance. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you see beauty and perfection, including in imperfection. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you see beauty and perfection, including in imperfection? Write it down. And breathe. Number 15, non-judgment. Within the orb of reveal, Ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you practice non-judgment toward yourself and others. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you practice non-judgment toward yourself and others? Write it down. And breathe. Number 16, inner silence. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience deep inner silence where thoughts fade away. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience deep inner silence where thoughts fade away? Write it down. And breathe. Number 17, understanding. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you recognize that all beings are doing their best from their level of consciousness. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you recognize that all beings are doing their best from their level of consciousness? Write it down. And breathe. Number 18, transcendence. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience moments of timelessness or expanded awareness. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience moments of timelessness or expanded awareness? Write it down. And breathe. Number 19, evolution. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you see challenges as opportunities for growth and awakening. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you see challenges as opportunities for growth and awakening? Write it down. And breathe. Number 20, nature. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you feel connected to nature as an extension of yourself. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you feel connected to nature as an extension of yourself? Write it down. And breathe. Number 21, integrity. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you act with integrity even when no one is watching. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you act with integrity even when no one is watching? Write it down. And breathe. Number 22, non-attachment. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you release attachment to outcomes and embrace what is. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you release attachment to outcomes and embrace what is? Write it down and breathe. Number 23, being. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you experience love as your natural state rather than something to seek. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you experience love as your natural state rather than something to seek? Write it down. And breathe. Number 24, witnessing. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you recognize the observer within that witnesses all experience. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you recognize the observer within that witnesses all experience? Write it down. And breathe. Number 25, service. Within the orb of reveal, ask your higher self to allow you to perceive to what extent do you serve the highest good of all without expectation of recognition or reward. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. To what extent do you serve the highest good of all without expectation of recognition or reward? Write it down. And breathe. Let's take a moment in silence to be present to what moves within you, what moved you during this exploration, what arises, what is stirring, what is settled or settling. What feels strong, what feels owned, what feels unknown or uncomfortable. Just be present to your inner experience right now. Just be present to your inner landscape of oneness right now. And breathe. Coming back to here and now, take a moment to honor yourself for all that came to the surface. It takes courage to face these truths. Well done. Be open to insights coming to your attention, as these questions may keep poking you. And in the next steps of our journey together over the next couple months, we'll be taking a deeper dive into all these landmarks of your inner oneness landscape. For the moment, coming fully back to here and now, you may want to get up and stretch or move your body a little. Have a drink of water or whatever you're having. And settle back into the now. Well done. How was that? Feel free to share your comments, your impressions, your experience in the Q&A box on the web. Now let's proceed to the online Oneness Index. So you have your paper with numbers 1 to 25, and next to each, your answer in the form of either never or rarely or sometimes or often or always. So in just a moment, I'll give you the link to the Oneness Calculator where you will go to do that. You'll use the form to report your answers from 1 to 25 into the online index. Make sure to position each of your answers correctly, 1 to 25, never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. At the end, enter your name and click the button to calculate your personal oneness index. Now, one important note. I want you to know that only you have access to your answers. This is not saved or copied anywhere else. It is strictly yours. So you're going to do that, and then take the time to review your personal oneness assessment. And as you scroll down, all the way down the page of your assessment, you'll have a button. You will click there to download your personal PDF report. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that now with the delightful sound of the Oneness Mantra by Ananda Giri. And I'm sharing this with gratitude. And when you're done, you're welcome to share your comments, your impressions, your experience in the Q&A box on the web, or to raise your hand if you want to come on the line with me. You can press *2 on the phone or click raise hand on the web to raise your hand. So now I invite you to go to the online Oneness Index Calculator. If you're on the phone, go to gracefulconnections.com/index. That's Graceful Connections with 2 L's, as in full of grace, gracefulconnections.com/index. If you're on the webcast or replay, you'll see the link right there, the link to the Oneness Calculator. It says click here for your Oneness Index. So just click it and you'll land directly on the page. So as you do that, let's get into the sound of oneness now with Ananda Giri while you complete, download, and review your personal Oneness Index. We'll be back together in 5 minutes.
सच्चिदानन्द परब्रह्मा पुरुषोत्तम परमात्मा श्री भगवती समेत भगवते नमः। सच्चिदानन्द परब्रह्मा पुरुषोत्तम परमात्मा श्री भगवती समेत भगवते नमः।
Delightful. Thank you, Anandagiri, for the oneness mantra. All right, everyone, welcome back. How was it? How was your oneness index experience? What was revealed? What did you learn? What was confirmed? What came as a surprise? What moved you? What are you inspired into now? You're welcome to share your comments, impressions, experience in the Q&A box on the web, or raise your hand. If you want to come on the line with me to share, press *2 on your phone or click raise hand on the web to raise your hand. I'd love to hear from you. So while you do that, and before I open the line for live callers, and I will also share your written posts, let me highlight to you the next steps of our oneness journey together. Today is our starting point in this adventure. We've now laid the map of your inner oneness landscape. Well done. I want you to know you're always guided and supported for your highest good and your evolution. And for that purpose, I'm offering a special discount on my workshop series, Divine Oneness Liberation. Some of you took that journey already with me, and maybe there's a calling within you to return to it now. You have the replays to do that. For everyone else, each of these 4 video workshops, these are sessions of healing, clearing, and activation, is valued at $77 individually. And today, as part of our Oneness community event, I'm offering the whole bundle of 4 at just $155 instead of $188 regular bundle price. That's your special event discount. It's available until tomorrow, Sunday, July 19th at midnight Pacific. You have the button and the link on your webcast and replay page, or go to gracefulconnections.com/oneness for the bundle Divine Oneness Liberation. Yes, make the best of this opportunity. Now, in terms of our collective journey through free live community events, as today, we're going to meet again on several occasions to take a deeper dive into the exploration of the 25 expressions of oneness, which you have encountered today, and they populate your oneness landscape. So over the next few months, we'll gather to explore 4 paths into oneness. First, the path of interconnected love through the expressions of interconnectedness, compassion, love, unity, transcendence, and nature. So this is going to be live event on August the 1st. Saturday, August 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific. Make a note of it. Mark your calendar. Second, the path of surrendered flow through the expressions of equanimity, non-duality, curiosity, surrender, acceptance, non-attachment. This is going to be live. Our live event is going to be on August 22nd, Saturday, August 22nd at 9 a.m. Pacific. Third, the path of compassionate understanding through the expressions of joy, non-judgment, inner silence, understanding, and integrity. Our live event is going to be on Saturday, September 12th at 9 a.m. Pacific. Fourth, the path of sacred presence through the expressions of presence, sacredness, wholeness, gratitude, evolution, being, witnessing, and service. Our live event is going to be on Saturday, September 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific. And finally, we'll weave all 4 paths and all 25 expressions of oneness into your oneness mandala. This is going to be a live event on a Saturday at a date to be defined. Yes. You'll receive the invitations and reminders by email, so keep an eye on your inbox. And also keep an eye on our Oneness Index Experience page, which will be updated with the schedule and access info for each event. This page is at gracefulconnections.com/one. O-N-E. gracefulconnections.com/one. And all these events are free, live with a replay, and will offer you an immersion experience into oneness, totally personalized through your own oneness index, your individual map that allows you to locate yourself and your evolution. So I invite you to join me in the continuation of this journey, this adventure deeper into oneness together, that we may, each of us, be agents of oneness, sharing the frequency of oneness and the vibration of each of the 25 expressions of oneness everywhere we are, everywhere we go. Let's stand together as one for oneness through the rest of this 1 year of 2026. Thank you. All right, so now let's open the lines for your comments and sharings. Again, if you want to come on the line with me, press star 2 on your phone or click raise hand on the web, or you can place your comment, sharing, experience in the Q&A box on the web. So I don't have a hand raised. I'm going to give you a moment to raise your hand if anyone wants to join me, and let me go to the written comments and sharings. Shari in Ocean Ridge wrote, "Beloved Sophie, this was so beautiful. It was hard to see these results, but such a blessing. I am beyond grateful to be here." Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being brave. As all of you, right? You are brave to face these truths. Yes, it may be uncomfortable at some point to realize where we truly stand. But this is how we move forward. And with the power of awareness, you will notice in the next few days, in the next few weeks, through the power of awareness, your position toward at least some of these criteria, these qualities of oneness, is going to shift, is going to improve. Right? With the power of awareness, plus add the power of your commitment, the power of your setting your intentions. Are there any intentions that you feel inspired to set for yourself based on your personal oneness index that you've discovered today? And as I said, we'll meet again. We'll go further and deeper into the awareness of each of these 25 expressions of oneness, 25 qualities of oneness. And with this awareness, we will keep shifting, moving forward, evolving, growing up into oneness, growing up the ladder of oneness. And again, as I mentioned a moment ago, you have the Divine Oneness Liberation bundle of 4 workshops with a special discounted price until tomorrow. So this may be a great resource for you to tap into. All right, I don't see a hand raised. Let me check. Is there? Thank you, Sherry, for sharing your comment and sharing your vulnerability and your courage. All right, I don't see any other post, so let's start closing. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for your commitment and dedication to oneness and to your personal journey of evolution. Keep an eye on your emails for invitations and reminders for our forthcoming events, free live events with replays, and you can also consult our Oneness Index experience page at gracefulconnections.com/one. And with gratitude, allow the orb of reveal, the orb of grace, the orb of truth to remain and hold you for as long as it serves your highest good, and to dissolve just by themselves. Side note, Bonnie in Ardmore wrote, "Thanks, Sophie, great inventory," and a smiley. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Yes. We complete by giving thanks to our higher selves and all the higher beings and energies who guide, support, and protect us, and gratitude to the divine. Until we gather again, oneness blessings to you. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye for now.